Have you ever opened your bank app, stared at the number, and thought, I swear I make money, so why does it disappear? Like you're subscribed to a service called Broke Life Premium, and you never remember signing up. Here's the real question, though. Why does building your first $100,000 feel impossible for smart, hard-working people and strangely easy for others? Stick with me, because by the end of this video, that question will finally make sense. Today, we're talking about why the first $100,000 is the hardest money you'll ever build, and how normal people quietly reach it faster than you'd expect, without luck, hype, or misery. Hey, I'm Dan, your financially responsible big brother who's made mistakes, learned from them, and now wants to save you a few years of stress. And to make this real, let me introduce you to Lucas. Lucas is smart, works hard, and he does most things right. But Lucas feels stuck. If that sounds familiar, this video is for you. Lucas has a job, bills are paid, there's even some money left at the end of the month. But when Lucas thinks about savings, that $100,000 number feels like a mountain, not a goal, a joke. And here's the first truth most people never hear. The first $100,000 feels hard because at the beginning you do all the work. Every dollar comes from your paycheck, your discipline, your choices. There's no momentum yet. You're pushing the car uphill before the engine turns on. Most people think the problem is motivation. It's not. Lucas doesn't lack motivation. Lucas lacks systems. Let me explain it this way. Imagine trying to fill a bucket, but there are holes in the bottom. You can pour faster, you can work harder, but the water keeps leaking out. That's money for most people. Not in coffee, not in Netflix. The real leaks are housing that eats half your income, taxes you never optimized, fees you didn't even know existed, raises that quietly turn into lifestyle upgrades. So Lucas isn't bad with money. Lucas just never plugged the holes. Here's something wealthy people understand early and almost no one explains to the middle class. Building wealth is not about sacrifice. It's about strategy that compounds. Every dollar saved the right way today becomes several dollars in the future without extra effort, but only if the system is built correctly. Here's what's wild. That first $100,000 isn't just a number. It's the moment where money stops feeling fragile, growth starts showing up without effort, and fear slowly gets replaced by control. That's when compounding wakes up. But before we get there, we need to clear something up. Most financial advice focuses on tiny decisions. Cut this, skip that, be more disciplined. Lucas tries, but here's the uncomfortable truth. You cannot penny pinch your way to $100,000. If housing, taxes, and systems are broken, cutting small expenses just keeps you busy, not wealthy. That's like arguing about paper cuts while ignoring a broken leg. So here's the promise. I'm going to walk Lucas and you through a 5-part system that real wealth builders use. Not hacks, not hype, a system. Some steps will feel obvious, but you're probably using them wrong. Some will feel uncomfortable because they challenge normal life. And the final one? It's the move most people avoid, even though it frees up more money than anything else. Let's start at the bottom with something everyone complains about, but almost nobody uses correctly. Strategy number 5. Taxes. Lucas thinks rent is his biggest expense. It's not. For most people, taxes quietly take first place. And yet, Lucas spends more time choosing a phone than deciding how his income is taxed. That's a mistake. Because the tax system isn't just something that happens to you, it's full of legal shortcuts, and the government literally wants you to use them. When Lucas puts money into a traditional 401k or IRA, that money isn't taxed today. So if Lucas earns $50,000 and invests $10,000 pre-tax, he only pays taxes on $40,000. That's not cheating, that's the rules. If Lucas is in a 22% tax bracket, every $1,000 invested only costs him $780 in take-home pay. The other $220, that's money he never lost. It's like buying investments on sale every single paycheck. Most people complain about taxes. Wealth builders design around them. Now here's the part that hurts a little. There's money Lucas could be getting right now that doesn't come from the market at all. money his employer already offered him, and millions of people ignore it every year. Strategy number 4, employer match. Here's how it works. Lucas's company says, if you invest 5% of your paycheck, we'll match it. That's a 100% return before the market even opens. No stock on earth does that. And yet, millions of people skip it. Why? Because it doesn't feel exciting, because it's not visible, because it doesn't feel urgent. But skipping the match is like walking past a bonus and saying, "Nah, I'm good." If Lucas earns $50,000 and his employer matches 5%, that's $2,500 per year. Over 10 years, even without growth, that's $25,000. With compounding, that's tens of thousands more. That's not a side detail, that's a cornerstone. Here's how I want you to think about it. Your employer match isn't a perk, it's part of your salary. And if you're not taking it, you're voluntarily underpaid. Now, let's talk about where Lucas does invest, and why most people accidentally sabotage themselves right here. Strategy number 3, low fees. Lucas checks his account one day and thinks, I made 7% this year, not bad. But what Lucas doesn't see is the 1.5% quietly taken in fees every year, forever. A 1% fee doesn't sound scary, but over 30 years, it can eat hundreds of thousands of dollars, not because markets did badly, but because fees compounded against Lucas. That's the brutal part. Fees don't show up as a bill, they just steal growth silently. Wealth builders do something boring and brilliant. They use low-cost index funds, ignore flashy promises, and let markets do what they've always done. They don't try to be smarter than the market. They try to be cheaper than everyone else. Now, let's fix the mistake that keeps Lucas feeling broke even when his income goes up. Strategy number 2, lifestyle inflation. Lucas gets a raise. Nothing crazy, just enough to feel proud. And slowly, without noticing, his life upgrades. A nicer place, more eating out, a few subscriptions, nothing dramatic. But here's the trap. When income rises and lifestyle rises with it, savings stay stuck. This is why people making $80,000 sometimes feel just as stressed as people making $40,000. The problem isn't income, it's expansion without intention. Here's the rule wealth builders follow. When you get a raise, save at least 50% of it, automatically, before you ever see it. You still enjoy the raise, but your future self gets paid first. This isn't punishment, it's protection. Because most upgrades stop feeling special quickly, but freedom, that compounds. Now, we're at the point in the video where most people get uncomfortable, because this next move matters more than everything we've talked about so far combined, and it has nothing to do with stocks.
Strategy number 1, housing. Lucas thinks, if I could just earn more, I'd be fine. But housing doesn't care how motivated Lucas is. If more than 30% of his income goes to housing, he's playing the game on hard mode. Housing isn't just rent or a mortgage, it's utilities, insurance, maintenance, and commuting costs. Together, they quietly dominate cash flow. No amount of coffee cutting fixes that. People who reach 100K faster often live smaller, keep roommates longer, buy less house than banks approve. Not because they're cheap, because they understand leverage, temporary discomfort for permanent flexibility. This is the moment where Lucas realizes something. Every financial system either creates breathing room or steals it. Housing decides which one you're in. So now Lucas has optimized taxes, captured free money, cut silent fees, controlled lifestyle creep, and aligned housing. The leaks are plugged. The system is working. Which leads to the final question, what actually changes when you hit $100,000, and why does everything get easier after that? So let's fast forward. Lucas keeps going. Nothing flashy, no big bets, no overnight wins, just the system month after month. And one day, Lucas opens his account and sees a number he's never seen before. $100,000. Not a screenshot, not a headline, just there. Here's what surprises Lucas the most. It's not excitement, it's calm. Market dips don't feel scary anymore. Bad months don't cause panic. Good months don't cause overconfidence, because Lucas finally feels something new: momentum. Before 100K, Lucas was pushing the car uphill. After 100K, the engine's on. Now, growth shows up even when Lucas does nothing. Contributions feel lighter. Time starts doing the heavy lifting. This is why the first 100K feels slow, and the second one often comes much faster. But the biggest change isn't mathematical, it's psychological. Lucas stops asking, "Can I afford this?" and starts asking, "Is this worth delaying my freedom?" That's a different level of thinking. That's control. This is why chasing income alone doesn't work. Without a system, more money just means bigger commitments, higher stress, fancier traps. But with the system, income becomes a tool, not a leash. Let's be honest about the price Lucas paid. He said no sometimes. He lived smaller than peers. He ignored social pressure. At times, it looked like he was behind. But here's the part nobody posts online. While others were upgrading comfort, Lucas was upgrading options. Because money doesn't just buy things, it buys time, flexibility, and the ability to walk away. And once you taste that, status loses its grip. Let's zoom out one last time. Lucas didn't win because of one perfect move. He aligned the system. Taxes worked with him. Employer match was captured. Fees were minimized. Raises were split between life and freedom. Housing stayed strategic, not emotional. Everything important was automated. No constant willpower, no daily stress, just structure. The first $100,000 isn't about becoming rich, it's about becoming unshakable. It's the line where fear loses volume, patience gets rewarded, choices expand. After that, wealth stops feeling fragile. If you're watching this thinking, "I'm too late, I don't make enough, I should already be further," pause. The system doesn't care when you start. It only cares that you start correctly. Fix one lever, then the next. Momentum will meet you halfway. You don't need to impress anyone. You need to build something that lets you sleep at night. The first $100,000 is hard, but it's hard once. And after that, you're no longer pushing alone. If this helped you see money differently, like the video, subscribe for calm, honest finance, and share it with someone who feels stuck but never says it out loud, because no one teaches this stuff until a big brother does.